morning, guys. I'm gonna make this a quick video today because I have some quizzes that I need to take for my classes. So I'm gonna start with Commanding Life, October 14th, 2018. Life will turn you upside down for your cleansing. It will keep challenging you by resurfacing old wounds. Hurt will be repackaged and reproduced until it is resolved. If you don't face it and fix it, you will keep repeating it. Remove it by addressing it. You have what it takes to move forward by clearing your old and making room for new. And as an example of that, yesterday morning good morning. I had, up until the afternoon, and then I started having a panic anxiety attack. And I don't take anything for that. I have no medication or anything to take for any type of anxiety or panic attack. So that forces me to have to face the attack and face the issue that caused me to go into that attack. And it sucks big time. I hate it. I absolutely hate having to go through these attacks. It is not fun. And yet I managed to get through it. I am here today. It sucked going through it. It really did. So yesterday what I did is I turned on my Ghost Adventures, started watching that. Love that show. Love all my paranormal shows. And that helped to calm me down. And then I also ended up making that balsamic chicken that I was talking about yesterday. So definitely a recipe to keep. And then what I did while I was watching Ghost Adventures was I went through the rest of my cookbooks and recipe books and things like that. So it was able to calm down, which was a good thing. But I think what's happening is the universe is giving me that lesson every once in a while to keep me on my toes, for one. And for two, I think what it's trying to tell me is that I need to look into the other outlets, the meditation and the yoga outlets. So not only would that help me mentally with, especially going through any anxiety or panic attacks, it would also help me physically with my body. So I have to remember now that not only, to just turn on the TV and watch, my paranormal shows or throw in a Christmas movie or something like that, but to actually go and do the meditation, go try hanging upside down on the yoga trapeze for now, or try to figure out how to use that thing and do some, exercises on that instead of just sitting down and watching TV. While granted, that's what I've been using this whole time. When I go into those panic attacks where I just want to throw up, I'm shaking, and I just want to hide under the covers and not be bothered. I have to force myself to just go through, feel that pain or feel that anxiety, and I also have to think to myself, well, is this something I can control, or is it something out of my control? And yesterday was something that was pretty much out of my control. And I have to realize that because it's out of my control, there's nothing that I can do about it. I need to get out of that funk and get out of that attack. It's one of those things where there's nothing you can do. So why stress over it? There's no point in it. So I'm, like I said, it's something I still go through. It's still a lesson that the universe is having me learn. But like I said, I think it's trying to direct me into using meditation and yoga more to help ease and, work through those attacks. Now for healing energy tools, it says the universe is saying to you today, mystical spiritual experiences are occurring in your life due to your increased spiritual openness. So have faith and trust in the journey, even if you do not fully understand it. Stay grounded, focused, and balanced. Trust yourself more. So I'm actually quite curious as to what the spiritual and mystical experiences are going to be. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And, like I said, it's, going to be interesting. I don't know what it is. And, if I find that, I'm having some great experiences, then I'll have to let you guys know. But until then, I don't know what the universe is going to toss at me. So for the year of calm, it says for today, help reduce stigma by learning more about mental health struggles. Many people living with mental illness feel isolated because they are not met with the same understanding and empathy. And I can tell you from my experience that's true. A lot of times people don't understand. They'll tell you, shh, keep it quiet, don't say anything, just deal with it. And it's very hard learning how to just deal with all these things. You're not, if you're not given the tools to help to deal with it, then you have to almost be isolated and learn to work through it on your own by yourself. And there is that awful stigma with mental illness, no matter what it is. I mean, mental illness it covers so many different aspects, and it includes anxiety and panic attacks. And I'm a person that does suffer from that, and it is so hard. I don't like having that feeling of panic, and sometimes it actually gets to a feeling of dread. And when I get that bad, I pretty much shut down. When it gets that bad that I'm actually having a feeling of dread, I shut down. It's kind of like I don't answer people. I have to be by myself, and I have to get through it. And like I said, I don't have any medication to take to try and work on calming down. So I have to do everything myself. And I think, again, that's why the universe is having me go through this lesson every once in a while. It's not as often as it used to be. Trust me, it used to be. It felt like a daily basis I was going through it. So now that I've learned to pretty much somewhat control it, I get that lesson tossed at me. And like I said, I think it's now trying to direct me into a more productive way to deal with the feelings of anxiety and panic. To have me use the meditation and yoga and add that into my daily routine to try and keep everything balanced. So that is something I'm going to have to work on as well while going to school and everything. So just keep that in mind. I see something posted quite often that says, you don't forget you have survived 100% of your bad days, which true. I'm here. I woke up this morning. It's another day. And I can look back on previous instances and be like, yeah, you know what, that was pretty bad, and I made it, and I'm going to continue to make it. I will do everything I can to make it through to the next day and try to put what I can in the past, so I know how to kind of, I don't want to say react to, well, I guess it would be reacting, but knowing how to, have more control over the situation and not just completely freaking out and, going bonkers and, pissing and moaning on social media or whatever, and I think I have done I know I've done a good job. That's that thing I was telling you about, where you catch yourself, where you don't, have that doubt. So not only do I think, I know I have done a good job of being able to control that anxiety and panic better than what I used to. I'm not saying that it's all under control, because yesterday it took me a little bit, and like I said, I had to, watch my shows and stuff, but I was able to calm down, and I was able to look at it as it's out of my control. If it's out of my control, why worry about it? What's gonna happen is gonna happen. I have no say in the situation. So again, it's being able to also catch that mentally and say, you need to stop. There is no reason for you to be that anxious over everything. And I think a lot of times too is people say, well, be in my shoes. And sometimes we have been in those people's shoes. We just chose to walk out of those shoes and look in a different aspect, look at it from a different perspective. And I think maybe a lot of times those people that are saying, well, try my shoes on, they almost seem like they don't want to walk out of those shoes, because they get the attention when they make that big old fit, and they're always making fits. They have their enablers, and it seems like they don't want to change. And when they don't want to change, they don't want to take in those lessons. And until they're able to take in those lessons and learn from them, they're going to continue to stay in those shoes. And telling someone, well, you haven't been in my shoes. Well, yeah, you don't know about me, but I have been in those shoes based on what I know, what your situation is. I chose to walk out of those shoes and make better for myself, my family. So it's your choice. And I know a few videos back we were talking about making those choices to make change. And if you don't make the right choice, don't make those changes, you suffer the consequence. So you have to keep that in mind. And it's like, if you don't want to keep having the same lessons over and over again, you're gonna have to make the choice to make the changes so you don't suffer the same consequences. It gets old. It really does. And I can tell you from experience, I would handle it the same way every time. Well, no wonder why I kept going through all that shit, because the universe is like, hey, I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna have to change something if you want to be here. Everything you're doing here, you're doing it over and over and over. You're not learning that lesson. So keep that in mind when shit hits the fan. Stop and think, how many times have I already gone through this? And what can I change? What choices can I make to change so I don't suffer the same consequence? I've got to change something. And at some point, I was able to say, I am so tired of this bullshit. I am tired of going through this. So I started making the choice to make changes. And now I don't suffer any negative consequences as much, because I learned how to walk out of those shoes. I've been able to understand and have that compassion and empathy. But at the same time, I'm not going to enable someone if it's something that they are continuing. I can tell them so many times, hey, maybe the universe, maybe your positive energies and spirits are trying to tell you, you need to stop. You need to sit back, take a look at this, and make a different choice. So, you're going to have to change something so you don't keep going in this circle, this vicious cycle. That's what it is. It's a vicious cycle. And if you want to break that, you're going to have to make choices to change to get different consequences. Period. All right. And then the Witchy October Photo Challenge 2018, it is adventure. So the biggest adventure that I want to do is to go to Ireland with my husband and my kids. So that is something that, like I said, I keep saying, I always catch myself saying, well, I want to go. I would like to do it. And I need to keep telling myself, you are going to do it. We may not have a date planned, but we're going to do it. So that is just a small thing to change it and look at it from a positive aspect and a different perspective. I don't want that doubt in the back of my head saying, well, no, I don't think we're going to be able to do it. No. We're going to do it. I plan on doing it. And the next step is to set a date for that and make that a goal, that we all go to Ireland. The other thing that I wanted to do is, I had that bucket list, and I want to visit all 50 states. And when I had my kids, I included them, that I want to go to all 50 states with them. I want the family to be included. So me, my husband, and the kids, my goal is to hit all 50 states. We've done a pretty decent job of hitting quite a few states, but I want to hit all. So again, not this, well, I'd like to, that puts that doubt in there that it's not going to happen. If you want it to happen, you have to stay positive and say it is going to happen. So that's my adventure, is to go to Ireland with my husband and my kids. So we have to definitely sit down and set a date to make that happen. So, all right, guys, it's a short one because I got stuff to do with school. I've got quizzes and everything. So I just wanted to do my video for today and tell you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.